Welcome back. We have an update on the DOJ's prisons lawsuit, a sex offender who was found living under an assumed name, and that thing Bo Nix said about SEC officials. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. The Justice Department has added details to its lawsuit against the Alabama Department of Corrections over the state of Alabama's prisons, reports AL.com's Mike Casey. Now remember, that lawsuit alleges prison problems such as violence and sexual abuse among prisoners, as well as excessive force by correctional staff. And it also calls out the deteriorating physical condition of the prisons, which is a big reason used by the governor and state legislature to build new men's prisons and close some of the older ones. U.S. District Judge David Proctor has told the DOJ that its allegations on the physical conditions of the prisons have been lacking in specifics, and so the DOJ has now filed this new complaint. It lists problems with every prison building, problems such as a lack of adequate toilets, sinks, and showers, leaky pipes, cracked floors, exposed wiring and insulation, rats and roaches, too few surveillance cameras, no working fire alarm systems. According to the DOJ, last December at Donaldson Correctional Facility, an inmate died from hyperthermia with a body temperature of 109 degrees and a cell temperature between 101 and 104. Now, these are the arguments of the DOJ. In this court battle, the state's Department of Corrections is arguing that the conditions in the prisons are not unconstitutional. However, as we know, the state legislature in a special session last month approved a plan to build 2 new men's prisons that'll cost $1.3 billion. A convicted sex offender from Indiana who's been on the run for 20 years has been captured in Alabama, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson. Larry Albert Flake has been using the name Larry White and the Reverend White as the music minister at True House of Prayer Missionary Baptist Church in Birmingham. Back in 2001, Flake was convicted for the assault of a 15-year-old girl. He didn't show up for the trial, during which the jury found him guilty on sexual misconduct, and he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. A new lead surfaced early this year, and Richmond Police Department and the FBI were able to track him down in northern Birmingham. He was taken into custody Friday morning. Well, in case you all haven't noticed, it's Iron Bowl week. We'll note for our New Jersey audience that in Alabama we don't say the Iron Bowl is played on the week of Thanksgiving. Rather, we say Thanksgiving happens on the week of the Iron Bowl. Football is so front and center this week that a quarterback's comments about SEC officiating gets bigger play than a Donald Trump tweet. Auburn's Bo Nix proved this week he can make headlines from the injured list. AL.com's Tom Green reports that Nix, who's out after ankle surgery, was a guest on the next round and suggested that the officiating, changes a little when it's an Alabama game. Nix had watched the Alabama-Arkansas game on Saturday, during which there were several close reviewed plays. Quote, "Just a few of those obviously controversial calls in that game raises some questions for sure, I guess, unless you're an Alabama fan. That's just part of the game. We've discussed it over and over. That's not going to change no matter what happens." And later he added, legitimately, I think you can watch the game and anybody unbiased will think that something is different. It is what it is. It's kind of how it's always been, end quote. Now, whether or not the Tide gets the old Michael Jordan, Greg Maddux treatment, as accusations go, Auburn and Alabama will square off at 2:30 p.m. Saturday at Auburn's Jordan-Hare Stadium. Thank y'all so much for listening. We will be back here tomorrow. Until then, stop by and see us anytime you can on the internet at AL.com.